thank you once again, Mr. Tarek, for inviting me to as a speaker. Is one of the best subject you have selected for this today's webinar, and is really it is needed for India as a CSO. At the outset, I would like to thank the Institute of Social Responsibility and Accountability for organizing this webinar on a very important subject, that is paradigm shift in NGO activities, as also for inviting me to be one of the speakers. It gives me immense pleasure to be amongst you when we all are trying very hard to swim over from the deep ocean of difficulties generated by COVID-19 pandemic, which continues to play havoc with world population spread across more than 112 countries today. As we all know, along with various national governments, the civil society organizations the world over have been playing admirable roles in reducing the burden of COVID-19 pandemic, as also mitigating the sufferings of the people in various countries by way of collaborating with the governments, creating awareness among public, and by supply of food packets, other items such as PPE kits, medicine, etc. to the needy population. It is a great work. The COVID-19 situations also proved beyond any doubt that government alone cannot meet all the demands of the people when disasters and the pandemic strike. This is one of the positive results born out of COVID-19 pandemic. In the past, civil societies have found it difficult to statistically measure the economic impact of their work and the size of their sector. But today, data have changed. As per one of the recent estimates of the World Economic Body, the operating expenditure of CSOs globally comes to about $2.2 trillion, not billion, trillion. It is a huge figure, and the CSOs employ an estimated 54 million full-time workers, along with another 350 million part-time workers and volunteers. As a whole, CSO are a dedicated and committed problem solver, but it needs to be step up its efforts to adapt to the new reality and the changing demands of the people. The COVID-19 pandemic has exposed the deep inequalities prevailing in Indian society, widespread discrimination, structural inadequacies and inequalities, historical injustices, vulnerability of workers and laborers, underlying poverty, inadequate and unreachable health systems, and increasing cases of gender-based violence. Civil society as a whole is facing a dramatic transition as it moves ahead. The main problems at the moment being faced by all the CSO are acute shortage of funding, curtailing CSO space by way of putting innumerable hurdles by various governments, lack of qualified people to work for the sector due to low salary offered, especially in India, and the challenges of achieving technical competence by CSO themselves. It should be admitted that with these problems, a lot of other opportunities have been opened up for Indian CSO today. To be specific, they are: one, the communities, the people, and the government have recognized the value of CSO work. This was hugely visible during the current COVID-19 pandemic situation and during the past and present disasters like floods in Assam, West Bengal, Kerala, Karnataka, etc., and the annihilation of human rights by government, bureaucracy, and the police, pre and post COVID-19 situations. Here comes the opportunity for the CSO to strengthen their relation with the community further. Two, the civil society should develop a vision of their roles in influencing the development and deployment of emerging technologies to be able to compete in the field and to sustain themselves. 3. The cases of human rights annihilations are increasing. Humanitarian supports are sought in high volumes, and climate-related challenges are looming over the horizon. CSO have to set their foot in a larger and wider modes in their areas and think of changing their programs, operations, and strategies based on their essentials. 4. Diversify CSO programs into multi-sectoral activities, giving emphasis on income generation, poverty alleviation, and integrated development of society rather than concentrating only on one or two areas. 5. Build up and retain qualitative leadership in CSO and upscale the quality and the quantity of the work being done by CSO. 6. Improve the technology of CSO by training themselves on data analysis, big data management, collecting and maintaining quality data and its usage, that is the correct knowledge of which data to be used where and how to interpret qualitatively. 7. Widen the research scope and skills of CSO by training and retraining the employees, as qualitative research would play a pivotal role as far as development of a nation like India is concerned. There are more than 30 research areas where CSO can take up their roles in a highly effective manner in the changed scenario. 8. Link with the communities at all times and dealing with them when the communities are made capable and skilled to lead themselves. 9. Skill and reskill the capacities of CSO to meet the eventualities of disasters and epidemics. And finally, 10. If the government does not listen, CSO have to make them listen by virtue of their strength, of their work, support, cohesion, and as shown during the COVID-19 pandemic. For example, you all know that at the initial stage of COVID-19 pandemic, many governments were rather reluctant to seek the support of CSO, but when they felt they were unable to catch up with the demands of the people, the government came openly, forthwith, and sought the support of CSO in reaching out to the people and meeting their needs. India was no exception. Adapting to changed situations is not enough, but innovation, creativity, and transformation are imperatives in the sector today. Those CSO which show these spirits will survive and success will always follow them. Thank you very much.